Hi, welcome to my channel. It is a dreary Monday morning. Not derogatory. I'm looking a little bit grey. Derogatory. But I'm in the mood to read. So I thought I would start off my next reading vlog. We are in a better position than we were on the last one because I'm already in the middle of a couple of books. So let me get them because I didn't get them before I turned on the camera. So as you would have seen if you watched the TBR, if you did, you don't have to. Just saying if you did. Two of the books that came up on the TBR were Electra and The Art of Prophecy, that currently does not have its dust jacket on, but you have to take my word for it. It's the right book. So I am currently 175 pages into The Art of Prophecy. Proof, if you need it. Oh, the bookmark fell. Chapter 15. I am enjoying it so far. It's been a while since I picked up a fantasy book, to be honest. It's been a while, so it's taken me a little bit longer to kind of get back into the groove of reading them. Something I really like about this one so far is the love that it has for martial arts. Now, you won't know this, obviously, because I've never said it. I am a martial artist, and by that I mean I do it for fun. I don't do it for competition. I tend to stop right when I'm near a black belt for some reason. I think it's because the idea of going in for my black belt grading absolutely terrifies me, but that's something a little different. So currently I have experience with karate, taekwondo, and ninjutsu. Very, very small amount of experience with ninjutsu, but I do plan on joining properly when my work schedule changes. But can we just get through one video without going off on a tangent, please? So I love how much love this book has for martial arts. It makes me very happy. A lot of other fantasy books that I've read tend to focus more on the magic side of things. This one, so far, the training and everything has been very, very focused on the art of martial. So really enjoying that. One thing, I don't think it's a spoiler because it happened about 30 pages into the book, but the death of the Khan, I was very disappointed in that. I was expecting it happened so quickly, not just in terms of the actual narrative, because I understand that it would have to happen pretty early on in the book to then continue on for the book to actually, honor its premise. But it happened really quickly in the narrative, but also the actual scene was really anticlimactic. You would think that if they believed that the main character's prophecy was to kill the Khan, there'd be more importance placed on his death. No. So that threw me off a little bit. I actually read it and then I was so taken aback by how nonchalantly it came across. I actually put the book down for a couple of hours. So I don't know. So yeah, so that's where I am in The Art of Prophecy. And in Electra, I am not very far at all. I am 42 pages. I'm on chapter 5. We're following 3 women, Cassandra, Electra, and Clytemnestra? Clytemnestra? I'm going to have to look up that pronunciation. Give me 1 second.
Clytemnestra.
Is that what I said? Did I get it right? Clytemnestra. So we're following Clytemnestra, Cassandra, and Electra. This is a story of 3 women, their fates doomed by the fickle nature of men and gods. So far, I am really enjoying this. I'm only 54 pages into it, so I can't, give you many thoughts. But as we've seen from my last vlog, I probably have some rattling around somewhere in my brain that I'm going to pull apart for the next 10 hours. But I'm really enjoying the writing style of this. The prose is quite poetic, and I really, really like it. In the beginning, there was more of a distinction. There was more of a distinction between the voices in the beginning. I think as I'm getting further on, I'm only 54 pages, so don't take this as gospel because it might change. They're kind of becoming a tiny bit more similar, but it doesn't read like it's the exact same voice, if that makes sense. So I'm very, very excited to see the journey of these women, I think. I have started tabbing this one purely because of the prose. There's nothing I haven't written in it, I haven't annotated it, but I am tabbing it for the little sentences I really enjoy. So that's where I am with my reading. So I will come back when I have further updates for you. I'm not sure which one I'm going to pick up at the minute. I think I might try and make some more progress in the Art of Prophecy, to be fair, because that's the one that I'm furthest into. So yeah, I think I might read some of this today. What I should do really is start on Faust, because I think that's going to take me the entire month. So maybe I might try and get to maybe like page 300 ish, maybe 300 ish of this one, and then pick up Faust and maybe read the first chapter of that. Does it have chapters? It's a play. Oh, I didn't even think of that. Better have chapters, better have acts. Faust's study. So I think we're safe. Tragedy in 2 parts. So it has 2 parts, which means that I won't be able to stop reading until I reach the second part, because then I'll lose where I am. Okay, I might pick this up today. I might start this today. Maybe not. Okay, so today's goal. We will get further into the Art of Prophecy, if not finish it. I'm hoping that I could finish it today. I'll make some kind of dent in Faust. 1 page is a dent. 1 page is a dent. So I'll make some kind of dent in Faust. And then we'll see what else I pick up, if I pick up anything. Because I do have other things I want to do today. I want to write a little bit. I'll probably watch a few YouTube videos of other people's reading vlogs. So we'll see how far we get. But for now, let's start with this one. Hi, it's me again. I haven't actually read anything. I haven't even picked up a book yet. But I realised that I forgot to tell you the premise of the Art of Prophecy. So we're doing good. We're doing really, really well. I'm just going to read the dust jacket for you. So the Art of Prophecy. Prophecies don't make heroes, they only choose them. The prophecy is clear. Wen Jian is the chosen one, born to defeat the immortal eternal Khan and save the kingdom. The only problem is that the prophecy is wrong. Dun, dun, dun. Jian has been raised in splendor, trained by the best warriors, and celebrated before a single battle has been won. When the prophecy is proven to be incorrect, Jian still has to find a way to succeed, and maybe even become a hero in his own right. To save the kingdom, an unlikely band of heroes rise. Taishi, an old grandmaster who swore her days of battle were over. Sally, a warrior re-evaluating her allegiances. And Chisami? Chinese Q is pronounced like a chi. I apologize. I'm really sorry. An assassin with questionable values. Together, the four embark on a journey more wondrous than any prophecy could foresee. So yes, that is the synopsis for the Art of Prophecy. Okay, now that that's done, I can actually get to reading. Bye. Hi guys, it's me, and I'm back with a little reading update. I have some thoughts. I tend to have a few of those, so we'll see where they take me. Anyway, so I have finished The Art of Prophecy. I There she goes again. There is not a day where she does not bark. I'm gonna have to wait her out. I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered to wait her out. She won't stop. Anyway, so I've really enjoyed this. It's been a while since I've read a fantasy book. Since I read like a high fantasy. Is this high fantasy? What's the difference between high fantasy and normal fantasy? But then you also have epic fantasy. I don't know. Someone smarter than me can give you the answer to that. I have no idea. But yeah, I did really enjoy this, and it was really nice to find myself in a new world again. Obviously, you do that with any book you pick up, but I think with fantasy, it's a stronger feeling. So in this world, we kind of have like a grass sea, a sand sea. There was a mention of a flower sea. I love the idea of that. I love the idea of like an ocean, like an undulating ocean being made of other natural materials that aren't water. I think it evokes like a very nice image in my brain. I would love to live there. I wish we saw more of the grass sea. I thought it was quite a nice place to be when I was reading. So I do really wish that we had stayed there for a little longer, got some more descriptions. Yeah, I really like the fact that the world building was natural. There wasn't that much exposition, which I really appreciated because I am a grown up at the old age of 27 and I didn't really need to have my hand held through it. I find that in a lot of fantasy novels that I've read previously, they kind of just they tell you outright everything about the world in a way that's unnatural. Like the characters will talk about the world as if they're new there, but they already know that these things happen, these things exist, and this is how it works. They didn't do that in here. They fed it to you in a very natural way, and you figure it out yourself. Like it wasn't forced down your throat, if that makes sense. I don't know, but I did really enjoy that way of writing the world. I do wish we had had more interiority in the narrative, though. It felt kind of like it was just kind of telling you what the characters were feeling. I know that there's a whole like show don't tell thing, but it really did feel like that. Like they were kind of glossed over. They were kind of very surface level emotions in places where there shouldn't have been. So for instance, I think I spoke about the Khan dying. That was glossed over. When Tian is deciding his own fate, when he decides that he's going to take his destiny into his own hands, that's like a couple of sentences. But you would think that a character that had been so spoiled, so entitled, so kind of coddled for all of his life, he would have a stronger emotional reaction to learning that his entire life had been a lie and he now has to go out on his own while being threatened and hunted and make life for himself instead of having the people around him decide for him. Like you would expect there to be a lot more like emotional turmoil going on there, but it wasn't. It was like, oh, here's what happened. Okay, I'm gonna go off on my own. I'm gonna decide things for myself, which I thought was really odd, especially because he was so entitled and he was kind of bratty, actually. But he's young. But he was really bratty. I wanted to see him war with those emotions a little bit or continue on with the same kind of entitlement that he already had and carry that on to now his new journey. I think that would have made more sense instead of him just being a bit like, now I decide my own destiny, you know? And there's another point where we're in Taishi's point of view, who I love, by the way. She's my favorite point of view. All of them are in third person, but she is my favorite point of view. But when she's thinking about her son, it's very kind of like a surface level emotional exposition. So although the author, I don't feel like the author did that a lot with the world building. I feel like he did that a lot with the interiority of the characters. You'd think that a mother thinking about her son would feel more and would have a greater strength of emotion. She didn't. And I don't think it was intentional. It wasn't as though the memories were too painful or they hurt too much or anything like that and she had to think of other things to distract herself. It was just kind of like she's thinking about her son, the end. But as a mother, I mean, I'm not a mother, so correct me if I'm wrong, but as a mother, I would have expected her, I don't know, to just dwell on that a little more, to dwell on those emotions for longer than she did. Like, I would have expected those emotions to linger, at least in the back of her mind. But I suppose she's a grandmaster, so maybe that training made her hardened to her weaknesses. I don't know. I will say one thing that did take me out slightly, not take me out completely, but when I came across it, I did have a little chuckle, was on page 204, I think. 1 second. 204. No, I was wrong. It's 203, right? On page 203, it says, Boss signaled the man sitting next to Taishi. The plate of duck in front of him was starting to make her mouth water. Hoisin sauce. And it didn't take me out, but it took me out a little bit because I thought it was so funny that in this world, it feels different to our own. I'm not sure if it's predicated on any myth or any stories, but it feels different to our own. So the fact that they have hoisin sauce did make me laugh because I have hoisin sauce in my cupboard. So it's like, oh, maybe I could exist in this world too. And they also have soy sauce, in case you were wondering, which are like some of my favorite sauces. So it's nice to know. It's nice to know that those things transcend realms. But yeah, so I think I did really enjoy it. Does anyone else think that fantasy is addictive in a way? Like, I picked this up and now what I want to do is read other fantasy books. Is that what people who only read fantasy feel all the time? Like you pick up one and then you just want to keep just jumping into new worlds with these new characters and these new journeys. I think it's mainly the journey aspect that got me because you're following these characters. But yeah, I think it's addictive. And now, like, I have like a whole TBR and I have so many books on my shelves, but now all I want to do is just pick up all of the fantasies that I own and just consume them to kind of satiate this hunger that I have. So, will I even get to my TBR? Or will I just read a crap ton of fantasy for the foreseeable future? I don't know. I can't tell you that. So that was Art of Prophecy. My favorite quote that I have, my favorite quote to share with you all is, so it's Sally could not understand how a moon could do such a strange thing, but she paid no attention to those who spent their lives looking up at the stars. The seasons and cycles were the way they had always been. No other knowledge was necessary, save for how their people lived in balance with the world around them. And I thought that was a really, really nice quote. So, yes, Art of Prophecy, really enjoyed. I think if I was to star rate this, if I were to give it a star rating, I'd probably give it about a 4. I only really rate things with stars when they're 5 stars because the rest of the stars confuse me. Like, I go purely on emotional reaction to books, and I tend to read normally what I would consider 4 or 5 stars because I know my reading taste quite well. I don't know if that would be entertaining for you, just me constantly reading like books that I give 4 stars or 5 stars, because then it'd be like, how is she so easily pleased? But I am. I'm so easily pleased by books. Like, probably to a level of, I don't know, a certain level of naivety, but I am very, very, very easily pleased with books because I love them. So yes, I would give this 4 stars, and I am excited to read the next one. And I think the third one's out now. Should be out by now. So maybe I'll have to pop into Waterstones and buy that. Maybe. We'll see. So that was The Art of Prophecy. And then I also finished Electra. I know, 2 whole books, 2 full books finished. So Electra, guess what? I also really, really enjoyed it. We are following 3 women, Clytemnestra, Cassandra, and Electra. So Cassandra's point of view, I think, was my favorite because it felt almost like a breath in a way. It gave me room to breathe. The other 2 were so heavy with negative emotions. And although Cassandra's did also have those, her point of view was also kind of overridden by grief and by fear. She came across to me more as an observer, as a storyteller. It was like she was telling us her prophecies, her stories, because no one around her would believe her. And she also became kind of like a protector in a way, which is more positive. Some of the things that happened to her weren't positive. Please don't think I'm saying like, oh yeah, hers was all sunshine and rainbows. No, but it just wasn't as heavy to read. I don't think it wasn't as heavy to read. So hers was my favorite point of view. Clytemnestra's point of view, she had like this violent grief, like almost volcanic. She was completely overwhelmed with rage and a desire for revenge, which is understandable considering what happened. I won't tell you in case you want to read it and you don't know the myth, but it's completely justifiable why she felt that way, and the actions that she took, I think, were within reason. And I don't think she should have seen any karma for those. We also have the point of view of Electra. Now, Electra's point of view to me was kind of like it was touching upon the dangers that come from idolization, I think, the anger that comes from it, the indignation when that idol is challenged, the desperation of being separated from a parental figure or that idol. She did idolize her dad to an unhealthy degree, to the point where she was jealous of any woman that was near him, that was close to him, in any capacity. Read between the lines there. She idolized him to a very unhealthy degree. I found her point of view slightly exhausting, if I'm being honest. The whole book is talking about the cycle of grief, the role that revenge plays in that. It's also talking, like, there's this whole thing about a curse on the family, mainly with the men's side. So I thought it was very interesting to see kind of like the curse and how it evolves and how it manifests inside the women. But yeah, that entire cycle. So when I got to the end, I was exhausted, especially because Cassandra's point of view drops off around the three-quarter mark, I think. I think it's nice and I think it's bad. So you don't want to read a book and be exhausted. You know, that's not something that you want to do. You want to have a nice, jolly ish time throughout the entire book. But I think it's nice in the way that it mimics that cycle, because being in anger for that long would be exhausting. I mean, anger is supposed to be a temporary emotion. It's supposed to give way into something else, like sadness. If you think about the stages of grief, it has to eventually collapse into a different emotion. It's not permanent. But for them, it was. It lasted decades. And that exhaustion, I think, I felt reading specifically Electra's point of view, because she almost starts in it and she doesn't really get out of it for the rest of the novel. The thing that annoyed me though, right, which again makes sense considering the characters and themes, but the thing that annoyed me was Electra was becoming what she hated. She was becoming her mother, right? And the steps that she took to get revenge on her mother, like to the point where she would sacrifice her own brother, and she could see it. She could see it. Oh my God, it annoyed me to know it. This is why I was exhausted. She could see it. She could glimpse it, that she was becoming her mother. And she could justify her own actions, but she could not understand the actions that her mother took. When, in all fairness, I actually think her mother would probably have, you know, a better case in a court of her peers, but she could glimpse it and she dismissed it. Now, this was intentional. It wasn't like in the art of prophecy, I don't think. Like, she intentionally dismissed it because she didn't want to believe that. She didn't want to think about that. But it was just so frustrating that she could see and she could see what the actions her mother took, how that affected her, right? She knows the repercussions from that, and yet she does it anyway. And it just really, really annoyed me. It just really annoyed me that she was also so blinded by her own rage that she didn't even care, that she was being a hypocrite. Like, she couldn't even see her own hypocrisy. And I could, obviously, because I'm reading the book. And I'm just like, girl, shut up. Like, just move away and do something else with your life. You are just strengthening this cycle. You are just giving into it. And you know you are. And you're becoming what you don't want to be. And you know you are. But you don't want to see it. So you refuse to. But it makes sense because it's a character. So I appreciate it in that way. But it was just exhausting. Electra was exhausting. Is that why she's the named character? Because she's the one that makes you feel the most? I don't know. I don't want to rant for too long because I really enjoyed this book. Again, I would probably give this one 4 stars because the prose was beautiful. I loved the prose. I loved seeing all of these volatile emotions in depth. Like, studying these emotions in these three women was really, it wasn't fun, but it was fun. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'd probably give it 4 stars. Maybe it doesn't sound like it considering the rant and the fact that I did say I got exhausted. But again, I'm very easy to please, and I think I would give this 4 stars because I did really enjoy it. Did I enjoy it the same as I enjoyed um the Song of Achilles? Did I enjoy it more? I don't know. Would it be blasphemy to say that I enjoyed this more than I enjoyed Song of Achilles? But I don't know if that's true. I could be lying to you. I would have to reread the Song of Achilles to let you know. But that book's beloved, so I'm just gonna read my favorite quote before anyone comes out of the woodworks and like carries me away somewhere where I'll never be seen again. So my favorite quote from Electra is, "I knew that the madness within me had not been building to that moment, but rather that the echoes of his devastation had rung back through my years, as well as forward. Such was the power of Apollo. He could shatter my existence from beginning to end." And I thought, the way that that's written, the rhythm of it, I thought it was so beautiful. And it's from Cassandra's point of view, who was my favorite point of view. So Song of Achilles and Electra, I've read, and that's 2 off my September TBR, which is absolutely wonderful. What else have I been reading? These won't be updates as such, but I did start. I did start Faust. I am exactly 1 page into Faust. It's a dent. I've started it. 1 page is a start, okay? 1 page, even though it was just a dedication, the intention was there. I've picked this book up. I've made a start in it. The bookmark is in there. So that's where we are with Faust. And I have also picked up Sherlock Holmes, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. I'm 12 pages into it. So I'm really far. Really, really far. I don't really have that many thoughts to give you at the moment because what can I think to say after 12 pages? Not a lot. So yeah. So I think my plan for now is to continue on with Sherlock. Maybe not today. I might come back a different day and let you know how I am. Maybe I maybe might touch Faust again. No, I won't. Not yet. Not yet. I'll continue on with Sherlock and then I will come back to you when I have some more updates. Again, it's just been me rambling for a while. But that's what you come here for, right? To hear people talk about books, hopefully. Let's ignore my hair for now. Let's ignore my hair for the foreseeable future because it's not behaving and I don't know. I don't know what to do with it. I need to cut it. I just can't be bothered. So it's just gonna have to look like this. So I am back with some final thoughts to wrap up this reading vlog, if you will. I have not made any more progress on Faust. We're still in the exact same place with this one. Will I ever move? I don't know. I'd rather you not ask me about it, to be honest. I'd rather just deal with this on my own. But I have finished Sherlock. This is the first Sherlock that I've read, right? And I think I've been a little bit naive, a little bit dumb. Because tell me why I expected this to be one full length story. It's not, it's multiple stories. Watson is chronicling, as is in the title, The Adventures of Sherlock. I thought it was one story. I'm pretty sure there are like specific novella length stories for Sherlock, but this one was not it. So when I started it, I was a little bit confused. I was like, oh, that's wrapped up pretty quickly. And then we just went on to a different one. I was like, this is not the same thing, but it's not meant to be. But anyway, I really enjoyed them, actually. There was like a collection of short stories. There was some kind of timeline going through them. So I appreciated that because I think most of them happened kind of like one after the other, maybe, if I read it right. I'm not sure. But I did really, really enjoy this. So I can't give like a complete view of the book because they were individual stories. But I will say my favorite, I think my favorite was, what was it called? The Man with the Twisted Lip. I have no idea why it was my favorite, but it's basically the mystery of a woman who sees her husband in a drug den and then he suddenly disappears from the room and then he goes missing. And she's like, well, my husband, what the hell? My husband isn't hopped up on drugs. He doesn't do that. Can someone help me, please? And Charlotte's like, all right, I'll help. And he does. And one of the characters in the little mystery, he has a twisted lip. So that's where the title came from. But I really enjoyed that one. I have absolutely no idea why that one out of all of them was my favorite. That one and another one. So my other favorite was, again, I can't remember the name, contents page, The Adventure of the Speckled Band. And do you know why? Because it creeped me out. The Man with the Speckled Band, to me, it was really, there was quite a lot of suspense. The bit where they go into the house to uncover the mystery, um, that was kind of sinister. And it was really creepy, actually. I was reading it like really, really early in the morning, and and it was like all dark outside, and I had like a warm light on, and I was just like, this could be expanded and rewritten slightly to be a suspense, to be a horror, probably. But yeah, I really, really liked that one. And I did enjoy the last one as well, which was, what's the name of it? I should really start writing these down, shouldn't I? The Adventures of Copper Beaches. Was that the last one? No. Yeah, so that was about a nanny, a governess, and the weird happenings in her new employer's house, which I liked. I think I tended towards the more suspenseful ones because where the stories are quite short, it's difficult to build up atmosphere in that length. But those ones definitely had some atmosphere. They did. It's difficult to find my favorite quote in here because a lot of it was told through dialogue, which I also wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting kind of like the structure of the stories. So all of them begin obviously with the client coming into Sherlock's house, giving him a massive rundown of the mystery, Sherlock doing his little Sherlock thing for like a page or two, and then Sherlock telling them all the solution and how he came to that, you know? I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting more of a narrative outside of the dialogue, but I didn't mind. I didn't mind. So it is kind of difficult to tell you my favorite quote, but I do have one. So this quote is in The Adventures of the Blue Carbuncle. Why did I say it like that? Carbuncle. And the quote is, "The goose we retained until this morning, when there were signs that, in spite of the slight frost, it would be well, then it should be eaten without unnecessary delay. Its finder has carried it off, therefore, to fulfill the ultimate destiny of a goose, while I continue to retain the hat of the unknown gentleman who lost his Christmas dinner." I don't know. I like that one. I like the humor of it. So that's the one I picked out. So to wrap up the reading vlog, this is what I have read. So, The Art of Prophecy, Electra, and Sherlock Holmes. Finished, completed. Faust. A page counts, okay? A page counts towards my reading. So yes, I'm really happy. Like I said previously, that's probably something you're going to hear from me a lot, but I am really happy with my reading. I really enjoyed all of these books. I just get excited to read. I get excited when I'm reading, and I get excited thinking about what else I'm going to read. So, yeah, Sherlock was a really nice breather, I think, after Electra as well. I did have that little mini rant, but Sherlock was a nice kind of not cozy, but like cozy little reprieve for me, I think. And it's the end of the mystery books that I currently have on my bookshelf that I have not read yet. So I'm going to probably have to buy some more of those because apparently I like them. That's my reading for this week. So yeah, I think I've done quite well. So that is what I have read, what I have been reading. Let me know what you're reading. Let me know what you thought of it, and I will see you in the next one when I decide the next book that I pick up. So bye for now.